Alright, now guys, I'm gonna hit the charts and give you an an idea of what's been happening, okay? So I've been talking about all these consolidations and what I mean by what goes down stays down and doesn't come right up is this. So this one, it did come up for a couple of minutes, but um, and this one is still quite tradable, but this is the general trend that I'm talking about, consolidations on the M1. Consolidations basically mean that your wins are going to become very tight. Okay, your winning rates are going to become not as big as before. So even going up the time frames, I can actually identify a couple of consolidation zones. This is like the M5. So M5, I mean, there's a period of consolidation, flagging, so to speak, as we call it, a rectangle flag. And then M15 has another rectangle flag right there, and it goes down and then it has a really tiny rectangle flag right there, and then it goes up, and this is actually what we like to see. This is what we like to see on a M1. But notice that we've gone all the way out of M1 onto an M15 to see this kind of a movement. This is the kind of movement that we're looking for all the time. Like I said, what goes up comes down, and that's what we like. What goes down comes up. But even this one, notice that this is not as good a movement as this one right here, because this one, depending on where you actually enter the trade, you could be caught. Okay, depending, you took a 2-minute trade. If you enter here, if you enter at this point, that would be great. But if you enter anything else here, or a 5-minute trade, well, it could get quite messy, right? Especially think about if you even try to use martingale as a strategy, that could actually greatly work against you. And this is not just the euro pound. It's been affecting a couple other things as well. This is looking at oil. Notice how it's been like going down a level, like sideways, and it's been chopping down and chopping down and chopping down. What I like really is, very equal movements of, chopping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Not so much chopping and sideways, chopping and sideways. That's not what I like to see. So if I zoomed out, but like I said, if you go through the time frames, and this is not the template that we use during our trade sessions, by the way, this is just one of the freely available ones. And what we use, we reveal to you when you join the binary lab. But this is just giving you some insights. Okay, so what I suggest, if you see that the market has a lot of noise on the M1, you can't really make sense of it. Zoom out to higher time frames and then decide to take longer term trades. But even so, I want you to point out to you that this one right here is actually, having a quite a mini flag in this area. Do you see that? So flagging means, and the worst kind of flag is actually this kind of flag. Uh, we came up with a name for it. It's called the Moji. Okay, so we have a multiple doji. You get a Moji, and that actually gets quite misleading. So if you're in Forex, that's no problem because you have all the time in the world to write this out. But in binary, this could work against you based on your expiry time. Once again, zooming out the time frames, you find that you can get much nicer movements. This is the oil chart. I've zoomed out to the M15, and you see a lot better movement right here. A lot of what I say, what we used to trade a lot, and this is what we used to get a lot outside of the recent times on the minute of the M1 chart. Okay, so what goes down comes up, what goes up comes down almost instantaneously. So that's what we like to see. And when you see things like this, okay, trade it. If you see things like this, that's when you want to stay out, okay. And just gonna look at one more thing. That's probably gonna be gold. I want to show you that gold has been having a lot of this kind of pattern as well. Up, very sideways, up, very sideways. Today's not so bad, but some of the previous days were totally terrible. Earlier today, I mean, look at this one. I think you're beginning to get an idea of what I mean by flagging. Sometimes flagging happens like a parallelogram as well. It's not necessarily like a triangle, but it can be a parallelogram. Um, So a rectangle can slant upwards like that. And that's also a flag, and I don't like to trade that. You see when it goes up, it's kind of gradually going higher, and you know it's not going to come down right away. Okay, and sideways. Okay, so I think you guys have a very good idea, and let's get back to the PowerPoint slides.